To show you how to make PaintPot Part 2. So the first thing you need to do is you need to be on the MIT App Inventor website and click on this orange button that says Create Apps. I'm going to click on my projects right here. Projects, and I'm going to go to My Projects. I'm going to click on PaintPot. Now that I have PaintPot Part 1 open, I'm going to go to Projects again and click on Save Project As. Now it says PaintPot_copy. I'm going to delete that and I'm going to do PaintPot_2 because this is going to be PaintPot Part 2. Now I have a copy of PaintPot and this is going to be PaintPot 2. The first thing that I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to scroll down here, click on Layout, and I'm going to click on Horizontal Arrangement, drag and drop that underneath the picture. The next thing I need to do is I'm going to go to Screen 1 up here, and I'm going to scroll down until there's this part that says Scrollable. I'm going to click on that. This will make it so that I can click on the phone and I can scroll down. I'm going to go ahead and put this white button inside the horizontal arrangement. The next thing I need to do is I need to add 2 buttons. So I'm going to click on User Interface, click on Button, and drag and drop one in here. I want the button right next to my white button. And then I'm going to click on one more and put it next to my new button. So I have 2 new buttons. Okay. I'm going to go right here over on the side. I'm going to click on button 1 and I'm going to rename it. I'm going to rename it to Button Big. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this button which says button 2 and I'm going to rename it. And I'm going to change it to Button Small. Remember, no spaces. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Button Big and I'm going to scroll down to where it says Text. I'm going to delete all this stuff in the box. And now I want it to say Big Dots. Then I'm going to go to Button Small, click on Button Small, scroll down to Text, delete that, and put small dots. This is the way that it should look on your phone, just like this. Now we're going to go ahead and click on Blocks, and we're going to go to the blocks. Now something I need to teach you is how to collapse these blocks. So what you're going to do is you're going to right click on this, and I'm going to click on Collapse Block. Then it will look like this. Don't freak out, nothing deleted. I just made it smaller so it wasn't taking up as much space. If I wanted to reopen it, I would just right click on it and expand block. And then there's all my coding again. So I'm going to go ahead and right click and I'm going to collapse these blocks. I'm also going to collapse these on the side just so they're not taking up as much space. Now that I have all my blocks collapsed, I'm going to start my new coding. The first thing I need to do is I need to go ahead and I need to click on the variables drawer. And I'm going to pull out this initialize global name 2. I'm going to right click and I'm going to duplicate. And then I'm going to duplicate one more time. I need to have 3 of these. The first one's going to say small. The next one is going to say big. And the last one is going to say dot size. Now what I need to do is I need to go to the math drawer and I need to pull out this number. If you don't know how to copy and paste, I'm going to teach you that right now. If I click on this blue, I'm going to press Control C on my keyboard, and then I'm going to press Control V. And then I'm going to press Control V again, because that copies and pastes. Instead of having to duplicate, I can copy and paste. Now I need to change these numbers. I want the small to be size 2, the big to be an 8, and the dot size is going to be a 2. The next thing I need to go ahead and do is I need to click on button big. I'm going to go ahead and pull out when button big click. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my variables drawer. I'm going to pull out this set. I'm going to change this to global dot size. Go back to the variables drawer and get the get button, click it in, and say global big. The next thing I need to go ahead and do is the same thing but for the small button. So I'm going to click on button small, drag this piece out. I'm going to go ahead and click on this, right click, and I'm going to duplicate. I'm going to pop that in over here. The only thing I need to change is this says global big. I need it to say global small. I'm going to move these down just a little bit for space. The next thing I need to do is I need to go back up here to this that says when drawing canvas touched. I'm going to go ahead and expand this block. And I'm going to take this math piece, this little blue that says 5, and I'm going to delete it. I'm going to go over to variables, pull out a get, and then I have to pick something. So I'm going to pick global dot size. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to collapse this back down. Move that back up. All right. Now when you go back to your canvas, you should see that if you draw on it, there should be different sizes of dots that you can use and that you can color onto the canvas. And that's it for part 2 of Paint Pot.